And we're going live. There we are. We should be connected into the group now. Good afternoon, everyone, in Knitting Across the Pennines. It's lovely to see you on Sunday, the 8th of November, she says, checking the date on the laptop.
Yes.
And it's Remembrance Sunday here. So what have you been up to today?
I watched the ceremony in London.
At the Cenotaph.
Yeah, very, very different this year. A little bit sad, really, as well.
I love the march past, and to think that that's not actually happening.
I know.
It just feels fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, it's just not great. But, you know, hopefully next year.
Yeah, bigger and better.
Definitely. I'm just trying to find us in the group and I can't see us. It's saying error. Yeah. Can you see us?
It says we're connected and somebody's watching.
Oh, excellent. Hello.
Yes, so
do
say hello. Make yourself known. Have you got a drink? Have you got a hot beverage or a cold beverage? Or is it 5 o'clock where you are? Have you got something even better? Oh, there we are. There's Helen.
Ah, I can see Helen's comment, but I can't see the video. But never mind.
Hopefully Helen's basking in the afterglow of lots of blanket pattern sales for her.
Oh, did she release it?
She did. Are you going to put a link in the chat, please, Helen, so we can show everybody?
Oh, that would be fab. I have a different tea today.
Really?
I have something that's actually very unusual for me. I have a green tea. Now, I don't like green tea normally, but this is with chocolate and coconut.
Oh.
And I actually quite like it. Well, I know you don't. No, it's not your cup of tea.
No.
But yeah, I like it.
Oh, well, you're the one that's got to drink it.
Well, you know, there you go.
Yeah, so I thought the service at the Cenotaph was nice. I actually went to a socially distanced act of remembrance at our local War Memorial next to the church, which is just about 200 yards from my house. So I just have to roll uphill, really.
Did you get your wreath?
I didn't know. Someone else is laying that in Ulverston for me.
Okay.
So I don't do a wreath at the local one.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's fine. It's not a problem. Well,
I thought that's what it was for, so I misunderstood.
It's for the main one at the War Memorial in Ulverston, but we weren't allowed to gather there, even socially distanced. So what they did was give us time slots for when we could go, and ours is actually, I think it's Monday or Tuesday.
Because Tuesday's actual Armistice Day, isn't it?
Wednesday, I think.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, sorry. It's my mum's birthday on Tuesday. That was the important thing I had to remember about Tuesday.
Oh, well, there you are then. So, right, I'm just going to open that linky woo and then do a screen share.
Ooh, do we have links?
So, are you ready for this, everybody? This is the Cabled Isles Throw by Helen Gipson.
Oh, my goodness me. Look at the work in that.
No, she's kind of mad, really.
Yeah, but mad in a good way.
Yeah, but you know, not sort of eating your own toenails and sticking them to your eyelids sort of way. But yeah, obviously in a good way because it's creative and expressive and all that. But the level of skills for the cables, I think, to design it, is just amazing. So we'll have a quick snoot in on some of these close-up ones.
Oh, wow. I think I can spot some blues in there.
No, Helen will tell you it's not blue. It's a trick of the light.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's probably my monitor.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
See, that's really an inky purple.
Right.
That's an inky purple, and that's, you know, almost magenta,
Oh, right. Yes.
she
Yes.
says,
That's where I'm getting it wrong, is it?
with a side eye. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Catherine's in the house. Good morning, Catherine. How are you? Have
Ooh.
you got a coffee, or are you on tea? What have you got to drink? I'm on builder's tea in my usual big fat mug.
Yum, yum.
Well, I like it. Here we
Yeah, it's a
go.
good mug. So, yeah, that is just stunning. I mean, I have no words.
Yeah, and it's an absolute bargain,
I
I
think it's a
think, at the
bargain.
price. And
Yeah.
there's 20% off until the end of the 9th of November, so until Monday. So I think if you haven't bought it, you should.
Definitely. That's going in my basket.
Yeah, I mean, the only debate I think yesterday, was poor Lisa, who was sort of bemoaning the fact that she had yarn for both, but didn't have time to make both.
Uh,
Yeah, not really seeing a problem.
yeah,
Just buy both patterns.
it's not a problem. I mean, you get around to it eventually.
Oh, the coffee's called A Shot in the Dark. It's a shot of espresso, I should say, in black coffee. Oh,
Oh,
sounds good. Does make me think of Clouseau, though,
all right. Why?
because that was one of the films, A Shot in the Dark.
I don't know them.
You've never watched the original Pink Panther with Peter Sellers?
Yeah, I have, but I can't
You
remember
don't
it.
really like slapstick, do you?
No, it upsets me because I think the poor person's just trying to get on with their life and everything's going wrong, and it just makes me feel incredibly frustrated and sad.
Yeah.
Which is strange though, because I did like the Norman Wisdom films and they were just pure slapstick.
Well, yeah, and all that Mr. Grimsdale.
Yeah, but anything else, no. Laurel and Hardy, it just really upset me. My mum and dad used to watch one called I can't even remember what it was called now, but it was about house builders and they're trying to build this house and everything just kept going wrong and I couldn't watch it. I just couldn't watch it.
Wasn't the plank, was it?
Yes.
Is it the one with is it the colour one with Eric Sykes and Tommy Cooper?
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah. And he's got he's carrying the plank of wood on his shoulder and he turns around and
That's
wants the
it.
other
That's
guy.
one of my favourite films. There's two versions of it.
Okay.
I mean, they're both very good, but I think that the original black and white is probably my favourite, just because they're in this house.
Okay.
And Tommy Cooper just sort of rubs his arms because he's cold and shuts the window. Well, there's no glass in the window. And then the milkman comes with the milk for their tea or coffee, and he opens the window to take the milk off him and then gives him the money and then shuts the window and he hands the change through the hole of the window. He's just shut, and it's stupid stuff like that.
Mm.
And they have to lift the floor because they think there's a kitten stuck under there, and it's not. And all the kids run off with the planks. It just really, really amuses me. It's that coincidental.
Funny, like the opening the window and there's no glass in. That is quite funny and silly. It's a bit like the Muppets Christmas Carol where he climbs over and then he like, oh, I forgot, and squids through. That's funny. But no, not when someone's just trying to get on with their life.
Or what's his name? Roy Castle ends up in the back of a bin wagon. And everywhere he walks after that, everybody can smell the rubbish that he's been laid down in the back of the bin wagon.
Not like Victor Meldrew with his Dettol. No, TCP, sorry.
Something like that.
So show us your whip. Flash us your whip.
Well, I've only got a couple of rows and it'll be a faux.
A faux with ends.
Some ends.
Yeah.
I would have woven a couple in.
Okay, that's good.
I'm kind of ahead of the game.
And it's blue.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not. But any fool can see this is not blue.
It looks pretty blue to me.
That's because I'm wearing a yellow scarf and it's casting a false light on it.
Right. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. Helen, do you think it's blue? Because I think it's no.
Don't you just go and back her up, Helen?
Yeah, and the other Helen won't be joining us today, I don't think. I'm sure she'll be hot-footing it to London with a bottle of baby oil for poor old Rishi. He looks like he's had a chilly morning at the cenotaph.
He definitely looked like he needed something to warm him up, that's for sure.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm sure she's gone on that humanitarian mission today.
Something hot and steamy.
Yeah, hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's the one. Or coffee.
Well, yeah.
You know, a cup of tea.
I don't know if he's a drinker. He might not want, you know, alcohol or anything.
I doubt it. He's far too sensible for that.
You think he's too clean living?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, yeah. And can we say how relieved we are at the election result? Is anybody else feeling like there's a £300 weight lifted off their chest?
I am actually just quite intrigued to see how the rest of this pans out now, with the whole man, child, baby, toddler throwing a tantrum in the corridors of the White House. You can bet between now and January he's going to be like a squatter. He won't dare leave the White House in case he can't get back in.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not a done deal yet. The Electoral College have got to agree everything.
He's not giving it. Most people like bow out gracefully, don't they? But
yeah, he's not really capable of that, is he?
No, I don't think. Has he ever bowed out of anything gracefully in his life?
I don't know. I have to say that I thought the speeches from Biden and Harris were much more statesman-like.
Oh,
and I might have had a blub.
I did this morning.
Kamala Harris, yeah.
You wouldn't have seen them last night? Were you up? I didn't. I only saw them this morning.
I watched them this morning on YouTube, I think, on the Guardian channel.
Oh, honestly, I definitely had a little cry to the new VP elect. It's amazing.
Well, I particularly like the fact that, unlike our own fearless leader, she doesn't have 52. She doesn't look like she's dropped her homework.
Yeah.
Helen's saying it looks purplish to her, and she likes the star cable best on her blanket. Catherine says, relieved, so relieved, lives too close to the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're the right side of it, though, Catherine,
yeah.
aren't you? Carol, definitely relieved. Yeah, I can imagine. I cried buckets. It's pathetic. It's not even my country.
Yeah, but it affects the whole world at the end of the day, really.
It does. I was trying to explain this to a Conservative friend who was just saying, making comments like, oh, yawn, I'm so bored with it. What's Biden going to do? Where does he stand on Black Lives Matter? And I just replied and said, well, he has got a black/Asian American woman as his vice president.
Yeah, I think that speaks.
I'm pretty sure that speaks volumes as to his views on Black Lives Matter. Can you say the same of our own fearless leader? So he's not responded to that yet.
Crazy people.
Oh, no. Oh, Carol's saying she had a little blub too. So yeah, it's good to get that tension out. And I had a lucky escape, obviously, because had the Electoral College votes gone the other way, then George, 10 hours or less, was talking about moving to Ulverston and pretending to be my mentally deficient cousin. So.
And you just know.
Well, I did try and explain that there's kind of a lot of them. Just mix in and pretend to be one of them, it'll be fine. No one will notice.
All that inbreeding.
Oh, God, yeah.
We get a lot of that up here in Gisborough.
Yeah.
So have you had sunshine today?
No.
We had fog again for the third day. Then we had heavy rain, and now we've got the fog back in again.
Oh, okay.
It is just not clearing. It is ridiculous. So
Yeah, Stephen King's not in town, or James Herbert or anybody like that, are they?
going on, I tell you.
Don't want any. Who was it wrote the fog?
James Herbert, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be reading that tonight.
Well, he can't come and visit because unfortunately he did die quite a few years ago now.
It's a bit rude of him.
I know, unless it's his spirit come back to haunt us, but yeah.
With the fog.
With the fog. Do you want to see how I'm getting on with my cardigan?
Yeah, let's have a look. Carol says it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny, and she's sat outside.
That's just rude.
They talk about rubbing it in.
Jeez. And there we are making all our Christmas winters. Look at this. I have part of a sleeve. That much of a sleeve.
Very nice.
So yeah, it's coming on. A long way to go yet though.
Are you enjoying knitting it?
I am. I don't mind it. And I've got another whip. Do you want to see my other whip?
Don't you love the enthusiasm of I don't mind it? Catherine says, I'm going to have sunshine today, chilly and crisp morning, but no frost yet. Yeah, we've not. Well, we had a frost a few weeks ago, actually, but nothing in recent
That's my favourite winter weather. Gorgeous and sunny, but really, really, really cold and frosty.
Crunchy grass.
Yeah, yeah, and hard ground. Yeah, love it. Yeah, so in my gorgeous, do you like my Kelly Connor bag? Woo woo, just flash that. I started this. I actually cut, this is what I cast on Thursday night. But I haven't got very far. So it's going to be a cowl. Can you see that?
Yeah.
On a provisional cast on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to match my hat.
Right, is that going that way or that way?
It's like a long loop. So it's gonna, that's gonna be, do you know like my Brookland one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that style.
I do.
Yeah, you do, because you need one.
I do.
So yeah, that's whip number 2. That's my portable whip, because this isn't really that portable anymore. It's the only problem with knitting in the round.
I've got a faux.
Ooh, and it's blue.
So it's not blue.
That is blue.
It's not blue.
It's totally blue.
It's not blue.
Yeah, I can see it. It's blue.
So
now.
this is a copy of my running hat.
Oh, yes, yes.
And the idea, certainly in the other colour I made it in, it works really, really well to tame some Manos del Uruguay sub-blend.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it's worked as well on this. I think it's called Aquarius, this colour.
Aquarius.
Little bit of pooling on the back of the head, but it doesn't matter because I won't see it.
No, not when you're wearing it.
No, so it's
Nice,
just so that, yeah, Catherine says that looks great to her.
No, it's not Catherine. Look, why are you lot all enabling her? It's blue.
But, you know, they're just expressing an opinion. I think you'll find that's what democracy is. Just throw that in there.
Just because everybody's happy with the blue states in America doesn't mean that everything else can't be blue. Blue can be everywhere. And it should.
So, where's my ball? Where's my ball? That's what's left.
100 grams.
Yeah, I think so. 300.
That's not too bad at all. You could do like a little cowl like that, couldn't you?
I could do a baby hat possibly, or a children's hat or something like that. I don't know. I'll have a think about that.
Yeah, it's still blue.
It's not blue.
and it's mine.
Carol says it is blue, but it's not yours, Emma. Careful now, she's going to be throwing golf clubs all over the place any second.
I'm going to
You've
start
got to imagine that
fraud.
someone was doing that yesterday.
Fraud.
Yeah.
All the people that voted for blue haven't had their votes counted.
Oh, I know it's not the most appropriate thing to talk about, but somebody shared a video and it's a clip from the movie about Hitler called Downfall.
Oh, I like that movie, and they redub it with all sorts of different things, don't they?
Yeah, and they've sort of covered it over with him saying, like, stop counting. If we only counted the Republican votes, I'd win every time. And it's,
yeah.
I mean, it's beautifully done.
It's brilliant. Have you seen the other ones?
But the thing is, I was really reluctant to share it because I've got Jewish friends, and I was thinking, how are they going to feel if I share it? So I got a couple to watch it, and I think they sort of then said, yeah, that's okay. But I was sort of thinking, you know what, am I going to make things worse?
Honestly, like, there's a whole series of them. The ones about Ofsted are just hilarious.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, so you could go down that rabbit hole.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Just don't. No. Okay. What have you been watching?
What have I been watching? I watched this week's episode of The Mandalorian.
Any good?
Loved it.
Excellent.
Loved The Mandalorian, and I was catching up with. I had an episode of Star Trek Discovery to watch.
Yeah.
New series of that. That was really good.
Cool.
That's as much as I'm saying on that particular subject.
Yeah,
I watched Music and Lyrics with Drew Barrymore and Hugh Grant, where he's a washed-up 80s pop star and has to write a song, and she ends up being his lyricist, and got to write a song for this teenage girl singer.
Okay.
Sort of modelled on Taylor Swift, I think.
Right. Okay.
But that was quite an enjoyable bit of fluff, and I quite like the songs that they wrote for it. It was a sort of relaxing, de-stress kind of movie. And I've seen all sorts of Christmas movies on Netflix over the last sort of few days, just to kind of switch off and not be news. And
they've got some good Christmas ones on. I've just watched that Holiday. That's on this year.
Yeah. I must admit, I watched that a couple of weeks ago when it came onto Netflix.
Ooh.
Yeah, so probably a bit early, but I watched it anyway. What else have I watched? Amazon Prime, I watched Truth Seekers last week.
Oh, yeah.
With Simon Pegg and Nick Frost that are together in
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Paul, about the alien.
Yeah.
I've thoroughly enjoyed that.
It is funny.
And the wig that Simon Pegg wears is just...
He's on a par with Mike Myers in Bohemian Rhapsody. Unless you know that that's him, you could actually go the whole thing without realising, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's very understated.
His whole role is definitely, because normally he's the main character, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's just a supporting actor in this one. So, yeah.
Very clever, very Mike Myers.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite funny. It really poked fun at the sort of genre of the paranormal.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And I love that there's a character in it who does YouTube videos about makeup tutorials and ends up sort of saving the day with it. But I won't tell you.
Oh, yeah, don't tell me about
that. Yeah, that's just like, how do they think up that link?
I've only done
Where did that segue come from?
I think I watched the first 2 episodes and I've got distracted and not come back to it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good. Has anybody else been watching anything good? Are you excited about Series 4 of Stranger Things?
When's it coming?
I'm not sure, but I know it's been announced.
And The Crown, the new series of The Crown's coming soon, isn't it?
Oh, I like The Crown.
Yeah. but I'm not sure when. I've been listening to audiobooks a bit this week.
So what's in your ears at the moment?
Well, I've just finished The Best of Enemies, which is about Anne Atwater, who was a black activist. I say was, I don't know if she's still about. She could still be about, in the 60s, and how she ended up working quite closely with the leader of the KKK on the school education board and stuff.
Right.
Very, very good. So obviously they were like real total enemies to start with, and then they ended up being best of friends. Really, really good. And then I've just started Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race.
Yeah, that looks to be quite an interesting book.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Hard to realise that some of the things that you thought you were doing right, you weren't doing right at all. But
it's going to be the way, isn't it? That's part of growth. It's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's important. So I would just say that if anybody gets the chance to have a read or a listen, that's a good one. Yeah.
Right, I'll show you this in a second, but
we are.
So this was a 400-gram ball of Hayfield Bonus Aran, which is 20% wool, 80% acrylic. It's in the colour denim.
Blue.
And this is the yarn bath from the middle of the ball. That's all that's left of the 400 grams.
That's pretty good going there then.
And this is a size 44 of Alicia Plummer's garnered cardigan. I've knitted one of the front panels twice, which is why I'm late. But
why did you knit it twice?
Because I found a gaping mistake and I couldn't ladder it down because of the way the lace is, and it was just, it's a test knit, so I fixed it.
So what's the construction on that then? Is that
it's knit in pieces, back, you start bottom up, then you do the fronts, then you join the shoulders with a 3-needle bind off. Can you see that?
I like those shoulders, those are lovely.
Short row garter shoulders. Then you seam the sides, and then you do the hem, which for the wool version, which is what I've done. If you're doing linen, you just do a stockinette hem and block it within an inch of its life, and it shouldn't roll. But you have to pick up. So you see my pick up there. For the ribbing, for the bottom hem, and then I did the front border and the neck all in one. And then added the sleeves, which I worked in the round using circular needles because it's only one repeat of the lace for the sleeve length that I wanted for this. So.
Excellent. It's really nice. I like it.
It is nice. I'll slip it on in a moment. So Catherine's saying, I just realised season 3 Marcella on Netflix calendar at Canada, and I was introduced to that series during last year's Gal. Yeah, it is brilliantly acted, but I do feel like I want to slap around the face and say get a grip at times.
Is it you that's got the problem with the actress?
No.
Somebody I know has got a real problem with Anna Friel, and I think
she's a really great actress. She does have to say that on a personal note, she seems to marry some of the pug ugliest actors on the planet. She picks some really odd looking men like David Hewlett and people like that, who are not the classically Henry Cavill pretty that we
maybe she's been cheated on before and she doesn't want to go with a pretty boy. She's thinking he's less likely to stray.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they're together anymore now. I don't know who she's with, but I know she was with him for a long time.
Right.
Shall I slip this on?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's got ends and stuff hanging out of it. So.
Quick, we can say what we want about her. She can't hear us.
I can still hear you.
Oh, no. Thought you could get away with it. Oh, that would have been fun, wouldn't it? I'll have to tell you all about her Christmas present later. Very nice. I think you should leave the ends. I think they add a special something to it, you know.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I really like the stringiness about them.
Yeah.
And
It's
how they
like,
sort of hang down.
like tassels without the hassle.
It's supposed to be open front, and the garter border at the bottom is really only 2 or 3 rows. I wasn't having that.
Okay.
And you end up doing about 14 or 16 rows of rib for the top. So I just did as many rows as it would have taken to do the short rows, because I don't like narrow borders at the bottom of a garment. Having broader hips. I think if you've got no hips, it's a design feature that will work really well on somebody who's very slim and willowy.
Like Alicia.
Or you, but not me.
I don't know if I'm slim and willowy. I mean, you know, we've had this discussion before. Inverted triangle over here.
Yeah, so I'll try to show you.
Really lovely. I do like it.
I can. It was quite a challenging lace pattern. It's not complicated by any means, but apparently I am unable to count.
Oh.
And I had to put markers in for every repeat on the back, because I was just going all over the place with it. I don't know where my head was. It certainly wasn't in with that. By the time I got to the fronts, it was fine. And by the time I was working in the round on the sleeves, it was like, oh, this is so easy. I don't even need the pattern. What are you doing?
What was the problem at the beginning? You have been knitting it during a really busy time in your life, though, so you were probably a bit distracted.
So I think with this hem, I'm going to block that a bit more, because it gathers in a bit more than I would like.
Yeah.
It makes it almost boxerish in terms of its fit. So I think I'll do some judicious blocking with my super fancy iron and see how that goes. Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes you just got to use the iron.
Oh, Catherine's saying leave the ends. It would be very Stevie Nicks. Yeah, you've heard me sing then.
Were you singing last night?
No, well, I wasn't singing last night. Kate and her sister were singing last night. And did Anne sing, Helen? And obviously you sang and danced. Did you not?
I definitely missed a party last night, didn't I? What about Lily? Was she singing and dancing?
No, by the end of the evening, she was sort of being pressed down into a chair by a cat.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
Who wanted attention and wasn't going to play with anything else. Just totally not allowed to do anything else. But I have to say, it's quite comfortable.
I think it's just enough, you know, when you're sitting at home and you need something over your shoulders, you're just feeling that tiny bit chilly.
It's a nice fit. I think for someone with broader shoulders, I think it would be a really great fit as well.
Yeah.
I think my shoulders are a tad narrow for that, compared to the rest of me.
Well, you know, we all have our crosses to bear, don't we? Let's be honest.
But I quite like the sleeve siding on it. Oh, Helen says Lily was very quiet. Yes, she was. No singing. No singing at all. She did laugh once or twice, though.
I didn't really hear her very much at all when I was on last night. But there were a lot of people talking, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, like me, he never shuts up.
And then at a certain point in time, Marjorie and Anne and Lisa disappear to go to their warming hut Zoom. So then it becomes sort of a European club again.
Right.
Did Ingrid turn up last night, Helen?
I didn't stay long.
And it's always nice to see Sarah.
Hi. Nice to see everyone.
Well, it is, yeah. And I love seeing the kids when Kate and her sister's family are there. I think they're just adorable.
You see a certain young man?
Sorry?
Can you see a certain young man?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's so stressed.
Oh, he's really stressed. He's probably really upset that all he can smell is beef and salmon, and he's not had any of it.
It's because you're mean and horrible. I've got a chicken casserole in the slow cooker, which should be ready in about an hour. I've got a cake mixed and ready to go into the oven when I'm finished here. Because Jake's asked for a lemon curd cake.
Yum.
Yeah, it'd be nice. What else have I got to do? Oh, dumplings. He's asked for herb dumplings to go into the casserole.
We had dumplings today.
I absolutely love dumplings.
Caitlin, because she doesn't have the stew, she's vegetarian and all the rest of it, but she makes me put her some in the oven and she has them like biscuits. Strange.
Okay.
You know, teenagers.
Yeah, well, it's kind of how it is. So, what is everybody planning to do for their gift knitting? Have you got a list together of what you might like to make during the gift along? Have you had your eye on something and you know the designer's going to take part? Carol, I insist that you get rid of any dual citizenship and drop your British heritage immediately. She hates dumplings.
Oh my goodness me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's just not on.
What a thing to admit in public.
Hang your head
and to someone who lives in Yorkshire.
Just not on. Sorry, can we move on from there, please?
Honestly,
that is just bad news. We can't.
I'm getting palpitations.
I know. Shocking. I have had my eye on a pattern for a while, and I'm hoping said designer might be in gift along, and said pattern could end up being my, like I like to take on quite a big project during the 6 weeks. Do you happen to know which pattern I may be talking about?
I think it could be Janice Hope and the blue blanket.
It is not Janice Hope and the blue blanket.
Oh,
I know.
I don't know then.
It was Janice Hope last year. I have it up on my screen. I mean, I can share.
Sacrilege, Carol. Not that keen on Yorkshire pudding either.
No, I'm sorry. Because somebody mute Carol for a little while because she's just coming out with nonsense at the moment. Nothing is making sense. Carol.
I think we're going to put this down to post-electoral stress because I can't think of any reason for you saying that.
Otherwise, we're going to have to rename her Karen.
Honestly, have you tried Yorkshire pudding with clotted cream and golden syrup?
Nice.
Nigella style, because that is worth having.
Well, Nigella, anything that
perhaps Nigella. Not the heart attack that comes with the giant tub of clotted cream. You think you get it free, but
yeah. Sorry, my dog is going mad because somebody just was rude enough to walk past the house with a dog.
Oh no, she's puking now at the thought of Yorkshire pudding with syrup and clotted cream, whereas I'm actually drooling at the thought.
I mean, come on. Right, Carol, do you like pancakes? Because at the end of the day, it's the same thing, just cooked slightly different.
Oh, she doesn't like clotted cream either. What about pancakes then, as Emma says? Do you eat pancakes? Because it's exactly the same batter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to see my pattern?
So she does like pancakes. So really.
Oh, there you go. That's all it is. It's pancakes cooked in the oven.
Yeah, right. That's all it is. So maybe if you had them in a sweet setting rather than a savoury setting.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, thin pancakes, but not the thick ones. So more like a crepe.
Crepe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of relate to that. Jake's likes them with sort of a thick layer of sugar over the top and half a bottle of lemon juice rolled up.
Yeah, I like sugar and lemon or golden syrup or maple syrup or ice cream or chocolate spread,
No, just lemon and sugar for me. Nothing else.
We have all different kinds.
Yeah. No, just lemon and sugar. But just, simple tastes. just a big pile of them.
Yeah, just keep them coming.
Yeah, make a massive thing of batter and then just keep cooking them until you're sick of doing them.
And the batter lasts for 3 days in the fridge as well.
Oh, Helen says that Scottish pancakes are the best. So I love a Scotch pancake.
I love anything. If it's got pancake in the name, it's fine.
Or what my mum calls a drop scone, which is kind of a thick, such a very small pancake. I quite like those.
Tasty, tasty.
They're probably in the B-row recipe book if anybody's got that.
Oh my goodness, I've got a B-row recipe book. My mum gave it to me. I think it was my nan's.
Mum bought me one when I got married. And it's somewhere. It is in the house, but I'm really not sure where it is. So I just go online now and Google the B-row recipes. It's fine. And I've been using the same cake recipe my entire life. So I just weigh out for a sponge cake and just make the cake, and that's that. Oh, Carol says she's got her grandma's B-row book.
There you go, see? Everybody needs a B-row.
So did everybody have a drink last night in celebration of common sense and decency? And
anyone hungover this morning?
I almost had a drink last night, but then I knew I had to be up at 5 with Jake, and I just thought, I can't cope with it. No. Oh, hot pancakes with butter melting on them, Scottish pancakes, yeah.
Sounds yummy.
Mm. My mum's got a thing, she won't eat fudge, but she loves Scottish tablet.
Why won't she eat fudge?
Because it's verging on the chewy.
Okay.
But tablet is still kind of granulated, isn't it?
It's,
yeah. So Carol had some bubbly last night.
Good girl, Carol.
Well done. Helen had a glass of red wine.
Oh, very nice.
What sort of red wine was it, Helen? Was it good?
I like a Rioja. But I can't drink a full bottle, and you know, it's just too much for me on my own.
What an amateur.
I know, it's shocking.
Oh, Helen says, oh, heart attack, but yum, Scottish tablet. Yeah.
I like fudge and I like toffee.
I love treacle toffee, but I like the crunchy rather than the chewy. The crunchy one that's like flat glass. I like that.
I like rum and raisin.
Oh, it was an Italian red.
Oh, very nice.
I almost had a bottle of Prosecco, but then I wouldn't have been able to get up today. And that, it's not
yeah, because, you know, you could have had a glass, but then it's no good the next day, really. You needed someone to share it with, didn't you?
No, Jake brought me a letter home from work, and I said, why have I got a letter? I'm thinking, you're an adult.
Yeah.
Why are they writing to me? They don't need my permission for anything. but apparently it's a letter for me because I drive him to work.
All right.
And it's in case I get stopped by the police to say that I am transport for a key worker.
Oh, well, there you go. So
yeah, they clearly have no understanding of what policing is like in a rural area. That a lot of the time they catch you by accident. Or based on intel because someone grasped.
I heard a rumour that as I'm working at the college, I'm entitled to 10% off at Morrison's.
You should be able to, yeah. Catherine, I had red wine last night too called Border Vines by a British Columbia winery. Oh, that sounds nice.
Very nice. Very, very
lovely.
What did I have? I had a hot chocolate and went to bed.
Living life on the edge.
Whoop, whoop. Saturday night. Raise the roof.
Emma knows how to party. So I kind of haven't got anything handy on my needles right this second to knit with you. So I'll just fondle my slip stitch hat, and I put a 4-inch brim so that it wasn't too deep.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking I should maybe have done 5.
That's fine.
I like it. It's a nice fit. It's not too mahoosive on the... Yeah, I don't like a floppy crown or anything that stands up on the
I don't like
my head.
No.
There seems to be this trend for hats that stand up on the back of your head so that you look like one of the cone heads. And
Maybe they're just trying to say they've got a bigger brain than everybody else. I don't know.
yeah, I've only got a little head, so yeah, must be a little brain.
I've got a big head, but it's not sticky out. It's just a big here.
Okay, is it a flatty at the back? Is it a flat
There's nothing there.
like Chris Pine, where
Yeah, that's the
the
one.
back of his head just disappears into his neck with no curve?
Yeah.
Oh, Helen says, just finished my first triangle of Kate's sock test. That is such a clever pattern. Are you enjoying it?
There's the question.
Yeah, I think if you're a sock knitter,
I like socks.
it is going to be relaxing and enjoyable, isn't it? Or it's going to be just interesting to kind of keep you going.
I think socks are like magic.
Yeah.
I do like to knit like a pair of socks in a gift along, to be honest.
Do you?
Yeah, I've done a few pairs of socks in the gift along.
Have you done Tour de Sock?
No, I did Sock Madness one year. And I got down to, I think, the final 3 in my group.
Wow.
But I couldn't compete because those ladies they don't even sleep.
Oh, wow.
So, no, it was just no good.
Something wrong. Did anybody have a read of the article about the sheep breeder who in Yorkshire who has her rare breed sheep and decided there was going to be no slaughter, and she's now got a yarn business
Oh, brilliant.
from the rare breed sheep? And I just thought it was an interesting little story, and I like the article about the covert role of knitting during the French Revolution and World War II.
Right.
Makes sense that it would be something that would happen in the French Revolution, because they knitted at the guillotine, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
While they watched the heads hit the basket.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, Helen's saying she's not a great fan of wrap and turn, but made it change to twin stitches if it works. I much prefer that method to wrap and turn. I find with wrap and turn I end up with my stitches slightly twisted or angled either to the left or right, and then the columns of stitches don't kind of line up when you look at the sock or the neck or whatever you're doing. I much prefer twinned, and I don't know if anyone else has seen it. Sometimes it's called shadow wrap. Because the stitch the mother-daughter stitch that you kind of pick up and work and then turn back, shadows the turning stitch. So, yeah, I think I saw it on Tech Knitter's website or somebody like that, looking for an alternative to wrap and turn, because they just, unless it's in garter, mine are dead messy.
Yeah.
It's not my strength, which is why I like to do either the yarn over wrap and turn or the twin stitches. And if I'm doing an Isabel Kramer pattern, I'll do German short rows, because that's how she writes her patterns, and I can get them to look quite good. So,
cool.
In comparison to strangled wrap and turn stitches, they look a bit sad.
Yeah, they can do, can't they?
Shadow wrap, says Catherine, is that the same as German short rows? No, it's not. You're kind of picking up the child stitch below the one that you're working, and then put that onto the needle, and then work that, and then turn and move back.
I don't think I know this. You might have to do as a tutorial.
Well, there's some really good tutorials actually already out there. But Helen likes that as well. I just think it's a really neat way to pick up, and you can make it left leaning or right leaning.
Like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
To me it makes sense. I think unless you've got stripes or some reason why you wouldn't want to pull that colour up.
Okay.
I just think it's an efficient way to work that stitch, because you're lifting it onto the needle, you're knitting it, and then the yarn is captured there. It's attached to the original stitch that it's lifted from, so it saves you wrapping. You haven't got any wraps to pick up or anything else, and then you just work the two of those stitches together when you go back. and they're very close together.
Right.
Compared to your other stitches, they don't have the same gap, so they're dead easy to spot. I mean, you put markers in, but I've never needed to. I just find I don't know, it's clever.
But then again, you know, a lot of knitting is clever. A lot of it, I just sit there and go, oh my goodness, I didn't realise. Very clever.
Bunch of show-offs.
And crochet as well. I mean, I'm in all of crochet.
Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And
so I'll see if I can dig out some tutorials, Catherine. But I would imagine a number of Helen's patterns will contain that method, just as an aside, because it's the one that she likes the best.
Cool. Oh, it's getting dark. It's making me feel like it's nearly bedtime, and I don't know why.
It's only 4:20.
I know, it's really
late or anything.
I know. I got all my Christmas DVDs out today.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm going to start working my way through them.
I don't know that we've got. Well, I've got DVDs kicking around, but I can't remember last time I plugged the DVD player into the telly. And when I was using the little telly that's over there, and it hasn't been moved upstairs yet, but would
it's fine. Yeah.
It only had 2 HDMI sockets, so that meant that I could plug in the Skybox and the Fire Stick for Amazon.
Yeah.
And do all my internet-y stuff through the Fire Stick. And that's what I've been doing. So I've not really plugged in the DVD player, but I should do, because this one's got 4 or 5 HDMI ports. They're all over the flaming place on it. So yeah. I could be plugging in more devices.
You should do. No, I like to. I mean, I'm not a big DVD person anyway, because I think most of the stuff that you want's online anyway, isn't it? And you just stream it. But for my Christmas movies, I do have them on DVD, because, you know, you want to go and watch a specific movie and you can't find it anywhere unless you have to pay for it. It's just, it can't happen. Sorry.
I know. What did I watch? Just Friends, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's fat. And then he goes away and gets a super duper job and then comes home to confront the girl he's been in love with all his life.
Aww.
And he's now slim and good looking and is a nightmare. What made me laugh is that I'm looking at the woman who's playing his mother and thinking, why do I know her face? What was she in?
Right.
And about halfway through the film, Jake came downstairs and I just went, airplane! He went,
who?
What?
You said what?
Airplane!
Oh, airplane!
Yeah, and she's the girlfriend of the dreadful pilot in the Airplane movies.
I couldn't tell you about the Airplane movies, because I think I watched them once when they first came out, and that's a few years ago, unfortunately. Yeah.
I just love those.
No.
I've been trying to get on DVD, and it's so hard to get a copy of. Love at First Bite.
Where is
George Hamilton as Dracula.
Yeah. No, I've really just a Christmas movie DVD person. I'm toying between The Slipper and the Rose or Scrooge the musical.
Slipper and the Rose, is that Richard Chamberlain?
Richard Chamberlain, yeah. It's Cinderella, isn't it? Basically, so it's not officially a Christmas movie, but it's like a DVD version of the pantomime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got to watch Cinderella at Christmas, haven't you?
I must admit, I love that ITV put on a lot of the pantomimes and stuff in the run up to Christmas. And is it Cinderella? I can't remember which one it is even now. And what's his name? Victor Meldrew.
Oh, yeah.
Plays one of the ugly sisters or someone, and he's going on a date and says, let me get changed, tell me what you think of your outfit, and comes in with this sort of wedding cake dress. Is it too much for a first date? And it just really made me laugh.
Oh, I love it. No,
It's just that it's behind you kind of humour.
I do love the panto. I don't know. Is it a British thing? Do only British people get the humour in pantos?
Yeah, does anybody who's not British, have you ever seen a pantomime and thought, what's
Is
going
going on?
on?
Madam Twanky. Sorry, Widow Twanky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I love the panto. And what's her name? Peter Pan is always played by a girl.
Yeah, the principal boy is always a girl.
And then there's always like women played by men.
Ugly men.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. It's behind you. Oh no, he isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I know I used to love taking Jake to see them when he was little.
We used to go on Christmas Eve afternoon for years until they just refused. They were too old. It's like a really sad part of growing up. And it was like, I guess we'll go and watch Star Wars at the cinema instead then.
Yeah, bit of a shame, really. I remember one of the first years that he actually got out of his seat and got involved because they get you dancing and throwing stuff about. And they said, now we want everyone to be friends in this audience. So turn round to the row behind you, put out your hands to shake hands. Well, of course, they'd all turn round to the row behind them.
Yeah.
And he was, well, that doesn't work. My mum's laughing at him going, well, yes, it's a joke. Well, I don't think it's very funny.
Bless. Oh.
Catherine says she's never seen a pantomime. I will send you some links to some funny pantomimes.
You've got to watch it.
Oh, Helen says it's a bit like a Trump rally. It's less intelligent humour at a Trump rally, Helen.
Young man.
And they really when you tell them that something is irony, they do a baldrick and ask you if that's like bronzy or steely.
Yeah. Yeah. Irony. Honestly, we should have one. Should we write a pantomime, a Knitting Across the Pennines pantomime?
I think you should play all the parts and do all the singing. And I'll do the technical stuff and the curtains.
You can shout out he's behind you every so often.
Yeah, it's behind you. Yeah. Oh no, it isn't.
Oh, yes, it is. Sorry.
Catherine's wondering what?
Have I fallen into some kind of parallel universe? What's going on?
Yeah, back on track. Helen says the tutorial she linked to for the twin stitch shadow wrap, whatever, has disappeared at one point. So now she links to a knitting daily photo tutorial, which takes you through the method. But I'll have a look on YouTube when I'm loading up the video later and send you a link, Catherine.
Excellent.
I'll stick it in the after party or in the group here. So yeah.
All the options.
Yeah, to find it. Are you having to fuss a dog?
Yeah, could you tell? It's because it's, dinner time and he's thinking.
And he knows what he's got.
Yeah, he's like, come on, where's my food?
Stomach thinks his throat's been cut.
Definitely.
Coco's in a coma from, I changed their kibble this week back to the dry rather than the sort of chewy, nuggety bites that they were having. So, yeah, she's really happy. Mocha, less impressed, but Coco's really chuffed because she loves the stuff. Catherine says, actually, I'm laughing, making me think of Monty Python, though. Yeah, that sort of thing, but very over the top of camp.
Yeah.
Really, really silly, slapstick, very physical, falling down, smacking the face with a broom humour.
It's all the fairy tales, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. What other ones do you get?
Yeah, because it's Buttons in Cinderella.
It's in Cinderella, yeah. You get Hook.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Oh, that's Widow Twanky. Mind you, they tend to have a widow in all of them, though, don't they?
They usually have some sort of really dreadful old woman who's basically a bloke in drag.
Yeah.
But yeah. They're very, very funny and silly, and children love them, and it's a really great way for several generations of family to spend an evening or a matinee afternoon together and just laugh and be silly and join in.
And especially, you know, that's how I got Caitlin, not Callum so much, he didn't really take to it, but interested in the arts and going to the theatre and enjoying live performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the little kids love it when the baddie comes on stage and they're all boo, boo,
Yeah.
he's behind you. And of course the goodie's going, what, I can't hear you, speak up, it's behind you.
And you'd be surprised at all the really, really big famous names who do panto every year.
Well, it's good money.
And fun, I should imagine.
Yeah, it's ridiculous fun, but yeah.
And if it goes wrong, who cares? Nobody cares.
Good, reliable money. Who was the actress who got arrested here last year or the year before for drug taking and had to go on telly and publicly apologise for being off her face on drugs while looking after her, supposedly having her young child with her?
Oh, I don't know.
So yeah, Jake will remember what she was called. I didn't know who she was, but they made a big fuss about her coming to Barrow to do this panto.
Right.
And then she was gone very quickly.
I don't know who we're talking about.
Oh, Helen says she used to link to Uni Jang or Jang, whatever. But I think her website expired. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some tutorials on YouTube. I'll have a looky later. Oh, there you are. A bit of panto.
The CBeebies ones are pretty good. Yeah. I used to sit and watch them with the kids.
Well, I think the ones that ITV show every year, the ones with what's it called? Victor Meldrew. What's his name? Richard?
No, I can't think. No.
Oh, Helen says it's a bit like the locker up chanting. I suppose it is in that respect. Yeah, they kind of gang up on the baddie, don't they? From the audience.
Definitely.
And the baddies do try and wind up the audience to a bit of a frenzy. So yeah, it's based on old musical kind of humour, isn't it? And performance, and you know, it's really grounded in our tradition. And I can't wait till I've got grandkids to take. Oh, Helen said Richard Wilson.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah. But there's a few of the pantomimes that have been on ITV that he's been in, and he's really good. He really goes for it. And Christopher Biggins is quite good.
Oh, I love Biggins. Absolutely love Biggins. He was brilliant in the Jungle. He won it.
Did he? I don't watch any reality TV.
It's the only one I ever watch is the Jungle.
No, not me at all.
I like Jungle. Yeah.
No, I've seen. I will admit to having seen about 10 minutes of one episode when John Barrowman was in the jungle, and he had to eat the sort of body sack of a spider. I think I'm going to be sick even thinking about it, given how much I hate spiders.
Yeah. No, I can't watch it. They make the meat thing.
He ate that for someone else.
Right.
Because they couldn't. He sort of did their challenge for them. And then there was another one where he had to eat a bull's testicle or something like that. And the only reason I saw it is that bit was on Gogglebox. And you know the couple in the caravan where it's the older lady and
oh yeah, they're hilarious, those two.
They must be neighbours.
Yeah.
Rather than a couple, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think she's his type.
No, certainly not.
No. I think he likes them a bit more burly and a bit more hairy. But anyway,
different chromosome.
They were watching it on Gogglebox, and he starts chewing away on Barrowman starts chewing away on this bull's testicle, and Macy's sat on the sofa, and he just went, "Yeah, it's not the first ball sack you've had in your mouth. Just eat it." And I nearly died laughing that anybody would even say that on television. I mean, we were all at home thinking it, but nobody.
See, now Gogglebox, do they have Gogglebox in America? That is another British institution. I love Gogglebox.
It would be my guilty pleasure if I could be bothered to watch it, but
It's
it
on
would be
Netflix.
a total time suck. It really would, because I'd just never stop. Helen says she's never liked him since the original Poldark. Are we talking about Biggins?
We are talking
'Cause
about.
I've never, I don't watch Poldark.
I didn't watch the original, but I did watch the new version.
I watched a few episodes of the new version, and I don't know what the fuss is about.
Aidan Turner is what the fuss is about.
Liked him much better in that Is It Being Human, where he was the nasty vampire.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know what? It was fine because he just got his top off and just started scything the fields, and that, who cares what's happening? Just,
Is that good for you?
You're not seeing the image of him scything away in the field with no top on.
No.
Yeah,
it's not my thing.
Let's see if there's a thingy.
All right, so yeah, Helen's confirming that. Yeah, Biggins, she's not a fan. I think you either love him or hate him, and depending on what he's doing, I'm never quite sure which one it is. He can be very witty. But then if I want to watch someone who's extremely witty, I would much rather watch somebody like Peter Ustinov or Stephen Fry. Of course, we haven't got Ustinov anymore. Yeah, not mothered.
Really? I think he's lovely.
Not mothered. Maybe it's the long hair. I don't know.
I think I've got a thing for long hair, haven't I?
Possibly. They're not even dreadlocks. Catherine says, haven't heard of Gogglebox here in Canada, but just got BBC Canada last week, so she'll have a looky. Helen doesn't think Gogglebox is BBC, though.
It's Channel 4. It's on Netflix here in the UK. I don't know if it's on Netflix.
Try on Netflix, but do a search on YouTube, because you might find the odd clip on YouTube.
Fabulous.
Or a trailer or something. You're watching people watching television.
It might be on Birchall.
It sounds utterly crap, but
brilliant.
For me as a people watcher, it's fascinating what people think in their body language. And there's a lady who crochets and knits, and you kind of see her at the start of a program, and the sweater's growing like this. she's watching away. She's never watching what she's doing. It's brilliant to watch.
And I like watching the families and seeing the way the different generations see the same program very differently.
Yeah, where's that family where they've got the little Italian greyhound, and there's the son and the daughter, and he's a bit of a scrawny lollop.
I'm not sure. I can remember the one that got
she's got long dark hair, and he's a bit.
Have they got a daughter who looks very much like her, but she's quite a big girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, and there's a brother that she's always picking on or trying to outdo or whatever. He's a bit like a dark-haired Rodney from Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
So,
I do like Gogglebox.
Yeah, you have to try that, Catherine. So yeah, but it was Emma's idea.
It might
be sucks up all your time and you don't get any knitting done, it was Emma's suggestion.
Do you know what? I've just put in Gogglebox. Now, this would suggest to me that there's a foreign version of it, not a British version.
Okay.
Because those are not any of the people that we know.
Oh, Catherine says a bunch of them seem to be on YouTube. Yeah, well, have a look and see what you think. I mean, I find it fascinating just watching the people and the arguments that they have while they're watching telly and the different opinions of TV shows. And this couple in the caravan who watch, I mean...
That one.
Him. Yeah, I mean, he really makes me laugh.
I like this one. He's brilliant. They've got the big dogs.
Yeah, and the wife just sort of sits and says her own thing and does her own thing, and then every now and then he looks round and you see him going, what? What did you say?
Yeah, and they've always got a bowl of like cakes or something on the buffet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have to explain what a puffy is? It's
What is a puffy?
it's like a small sort of leather ottoman for putting your feet on and stacking magazines or putting a cup on instead of like a seat or an occasional table. It's a poof.
We call it a puffy.
Pass the poof.
It's a puffy.
Pass the poof, please.
Oh, your English is not my English.
Well, it's because you're southern and I'm northern.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's very different back up in Edinburgh or up where Helen is.
Yeah. What do they call it? Do they call it a puffy?
It's a poof.
Puffy.
Go on, Helen, settle the argument. Puffy or poof?
That must be
the poof.
It's probably is actually a poof. It's probably a French word, and then we've just murdered it and angled
got an E on the end. Yeah,
it's a puffy.
It's a poof. Anyway, we'll leave you with that thought, and we'll see you on Thursday as usual.
I think I will write an outro verse about the puffy next week. All right.
Right. Are you going to sing?
I am going to sing. Are you ready?
Yeah, big treat for everyone. And obviously you missed all the singing last night. Helen sang and danced. It was just like watching Strictly. That's all I'm saying about what you missed.
I'm gutted that I missed out.
Carol says, poof. But is it poof with an poof E? Poof A?
That's how I would spell it. I would still spell it like that, but it's a puffy.
Yeah, I think it's a silent E, though. I don't think it's a puffet because there's no accent on the E.
Well, you know. The first E. So is Helen saying it's a puffy as well?
That's because she's a southerner.
Yay, Southerners rule. Woo.
Yeah, Carol's saying puff.
Poof.
Poof.
Are you trying to blow out a candle?
Helen Curzon is sat there now going, what is actually going on here?
And she finished with Rishi.
Yeah, have you finished with Rishi? Have you warmed him up with hot chocolate and baby oil? Because he was looking a bit cold at the cenotaph this morning.
Something hot and steamy.
And he's had a bit of a tough week, I imagine.
Bless him. Bless him.
And you're closer than us.
Yeah, we're nowhere near.
Diplomatic mission and all that.
Definitely. All right, are you ready for my song? It's a
we'll do the
special Remembrance Day song today.
Okay.
To remember all the people, and I mentioned poppies and things, so.
Oh, Helen says he's too skinny. Have you gone off, Richie?
What? I'm sorry, I have to stop the singing for this. This is wrong.
So you've gone off, Richie?
Or does she mean he's too skinny for hot chocolate?
Oh, you might need to fatten him up with hot chocolate and marshmallows and
chocolate bars and
clotted cream
on Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah. That deep fried Mars bars and all that. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, right. So you ready? Here we go again.
Oh, she's going to
warm up again.
She's going to pop him her address so he can stop off on the way home. Good plan.
Yeah.
I tried that with Henry Cavill, and you know he didn't turn up.
Yeah, but you were trying to stalk him as well, and that didn't work either.
No, it didn't. Can't believe he came to the Lake District and didn't visit. How rude is that? I'm thinking of dumping. I'm seriously considering dumping him.
I think you should. I mean, who else? Who else can we have instead?
I don't know.
We'll have a think on it.
Yeah, I'll have to reconsider my options. Helen says he's too skinny to keep warm, but she'll have to feed him up. And she loves clotted cream on Yorkers. Might have to try that. It's really good with warm golden syrup, just saying.
Sounds yummy.
And she says Henry's really rude. Yeah, pick
he
it.
is rude. Very rude.
Honestly, he was staying in the lakes. I was at Aldi in Ulverston. I took a picture of me in all my knits. I had my campsite cardigan on and my evergreen cowl and a woolly hat. I was looking super fine, like Beyonce fine.
Yeah.
Like super bouncy.
Yeah.
I was looking amazing. It was early morning and I was still looking amazing. And I popped the photo on Twitter and shouted him out on Twitter, and I said, "You fancy a socially distanced dog walk with my Labradors? You can bring your dog. See you later." Did he turn
Nothing.
up? No.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah, totally
Right.
like me.
Hang on. You're telling me you got your knits out for Henry?
I did. I got my knits out.
Even respond.
Yeah, Helen says she doesn't know how he could resist.
Yeah,
honestly, baffled.
He was probably waiting for me to write him a verse.
My theory at the moment is that he was terrified because obviously he's never met such a woman. And he's probably feeling a bit inadequate.
Yeah, he can't handle you.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because obviously my body compared to his, mine is a temple. Ruined, dilapidated and a bit lumpy. But, I take great care of my body. It takes dedication to get it to look like this. And I think he was intimidated by my innate sensuality. He's
obviously used to girls, not women. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's it. I'll probably eat them alive. Spit it out.
Woman. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Right. I'm going to have to give you my chorus now because, doggies are not very happy.
Time for your song.
Definitely. Are you ready?
Are you counting this in? Have you done your vocal exercises?
Well, yeah, I did. So I'll count you in. Are you ready? Oh, okay. I have got my book with my verse in.
Right, okay.
Hang on 2 seconds. Right. Okay, I'm ready. 5, 4, 3,